Hey guys,
Hello.
what's up everyone? This is
Yeah.
Sam and Olga back again with another relationship detox. And so in the spirit of detoxing, like Sam mentioned before, there are a lot of things that people actually mistake for love.
Yeah.
And before you can make good decisions and healthy decisions in terms of a relationship and what you're going to be getting into, you need to basically detox yourself from all the misconceptions of what love actually is. So without much further ado, we'll get right into it. The very first thing that people mistake for love, and I'm one of them, or I was one of them, are butterflies. Okay, butterflies does not mean that you are in love. And most of the time, if you look at it from years later, it's kind of the complete opposite of love.
Exactly.
And I can tell you from experience, I've had guys that I've had butterflies for, and women, all the women out there, when you get that feeling, it's exciting, and it's new, and it's totally like deliberating somehow, and you think, oh, that must mean because it's because I'm in love with that person. That's why I'm having the butterflies. But I have to tell you, that's really not what it is, because all those guys that I had butterflies for, now thinking back at it, it would never have had a future if I did end up having a relationship with these people, right? Because I think when you have those butterflies, you automatically also put on these, pink glasses, right? And you're so focused on the feeling that you really don't pay attention to the things that are the actual basis for a good and healthy relationship, which are, trust, personality, compatibility, all of those things. You don't really look for those things because you are kind of trying to avoid red flags so that you can stay in that state of nirvana, whatever, you know what I mean? When you have those butterflies. So, but then in the end of the day, when the butterflies disappear, because they do, it doesn't last forever, right? Then you start looking for all these other things that are not there. And if those things are not there, then the relationship doesn't stand much of a chance of, going forward and turning into something meaningful. Now with Sam, on the other hand, like some of you guys might know, we were really good friends before we started dating, and I never really had those kinds of butterflies for him. So right from the beginning, we had our friendship, and the friendship was based on all of these things, like I said, like, we trusted each other, we told each other everything, we were bringing sides of each other out that we didn't even know existed, type of thing, you know. So we had that closeness and that emotional intimacy, and so when we did become a couple, it was easy to build a relationship on that. And I mean, it's now almost 12 years later, and no butterflies needed. So it's kind of like, sometimes I think of it as, when you have a really bad feeling about something, and like there's this really bad gut feeling, your tummy is doing things, and it's almost like if you get butterflies, it's your body's way of telling you to run.
Go the opposite direction.
Exactly. So so butterflies is not love. So don't think that it is, and then expect an outcome that you're not going to get, or not likely going to get.
Exactly.
So what is the second thing?
The second thing not to mistake in love for is desire. So basically, we all do this mistake. I've been there, I've done that. I see a lot of friends, I see people doing the same mistake, even till today, still doing the same mistakes, that they think they are in love, but actually they are lusting for that person. They are not actually in love. We pick superficial things about a person, and then that thing attracts us, and then we go for that. And then when we enjoy that particular thing that we picked up from that person, we come back and say, hey, yeah, I'm in love, or I liked it, especially when it goes well. So for example, let's take sex, for example. You see a guy, if you're a lady, and you're physically attracted to this guy, and because of the physique, how this guy looks. And not only that, but then you guys have sex and realize that, hey, he's actually also good in bed. now you combine both. You combine his physique nature, how good he looks, plus the sexual experience, and that gets you to think you are in love because
it gets them hooked.
Yes, because you think, I mean, it cannot be better than that, and I think it's a psychological thing. It just happens, you know, and then we get hooked up on that, and then we run with it, thinking that is the case. But on the flip side of the equation, this guy is not even thinking about you in that aspect.
Or in
course,
that way,
of course, he cares about you. He would do whatever it takes to make you happy or satisfy you, but not to that extent of committing in the way that you want it. So that is one of the the big mistakes that we do, and we think we mistaken that for love, and then we go in, and then we realize that that's not the case, and then we start throwing all kinds of temper tantrums, and then this beautiful thing that would have been really great, or
it could have been a really great casual friendship, with friends with benefits type of situation, but because again, it's mostly women that do that. They have a great sexual experience and they get themselves hooked.
But some men too do that.
Of course. It's just that personally, I don't know any. It's mostly
but
women,
I do know some men that.
Anyway, but basically, whether you're a girl or a guy.
They claim ownership.
Kind of. But like again, because you're so hooked on that feeling, that type. It's, I guess, when you have really good sex, it also gives you kind of like butterfly type of feeling, and you get so hooked on that you ignore any possible red flags, or you don't see maybe ways that you might not be compatible or something, and then when if it doesn't become serious, then it creates a problem, for the person that is mistaken that desire for love. It becomes a problem because they are assuming that the other person loves them, and that is why they are giving them such a great experience, in the bedroom or wherever you want to do it, right? But then, and because they assume that that's what it is, or they mistaken desire for love, they are expecting a certain kind of behavior from that person, right? And then if they're not getting that, that is when shit hits the fan, basically, right? So the next one, love is not dependency. Okay. It's pretty inevitable for a relationship to turn into a dependency type of situation if you are married for a long time, if you have children, if you have a business that you are having together, or any sort of that, any of that sort. But dependency itself is not love. And we see that in a lot of older couples, especially. They are dependent on each other for shelter, for monetary reasons, finances and stuff like that. Children that they are raising together, and like a routine that they are dependent on each other. But you also see a lot of these couples also suffer because they really kind of fell out of love for each other, or maybe there was never even any love there to begin with. No one really knows. But basically, we've seen women who are in very, very hostile situations, domestic situations, and they seem not to be able to get out of that situation because they say, well, I love him, even though he's abusing you or whatever, but when you really dig deeper, it's not because they love the person, it's because they're really dependent on the person, but because they would rather, but they use love as the reason why they are staying despite the abuse. So love is actually really strong enough and powerful enough to basically get you through anything. But because it's not love, it is dependency, they keep putting themselves through the abuse and through a bad situation, right? Because they just have those two definitions kind of messed up,
Just to quickly touch on what you were saying, when it comes to what do you call it, the dependency part of it, I also noticed that this is how I see this whole relationship thing. It's like a big umbrella, and underneath we have these pockets of subsets of things that I call the superficial stuff that we look out for. So you pick those things. Okay, I'm gonna like this person, or I want to get into a relationship with this person because of this about this person, because of that about this person. So that is what happens. So if your definition is to be dependent on the person, let's say because of financial reasons, then that is exactly just that. So you going into that relationship with that kind of mindset is not going to be totally like whole, like that relationship
Like
is
all
not going to be
round.
holistic. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not going to be that all round type of person, because you're only just going to be there and service to be of service for just one particular thing.
Or the other way around.
And the other way around too.
Yeah, if it's the other way around, like
Yeah.
let's say you pick a partner because of how much money they have, then the money is basically what's keeping you in that relationship.
Exactly.
So you shouldn't be expecting anything else or any other needs met by that other person, because all those other needs is not why you picked that person to be with, right? And just like if you get picked for, I don't know, for how you look, and then that's the only reason that you got picked, and then something happens, like you have babies and you look different, and then the partner starts treating you anyhow or different than you're used to, it's because they picked you based on superficial reasons, and not the kind of reasons, not the not based on the pillars that you were able to build a relationship on. Right?
That's the point. Yeah,
exactly.
So you need to be aware of that. So these are the things that we talk about. That's why our program is relationship detox, to purge out some of these things before you get into one.
Right.
So that brings us to the next point, which is possession, right? Like taking this person possessed to, like how would I put it?
Like love is not possession or ownership, which means if you love a person, you do not own the person.
Okay, great.
Right? The person is not property. It doesn't become a commodity.
Thank you for the clarification. Because this is one area that I see a lot. I mean, a lot. Again, like I think I even made mention of it earlier on this video, that when you see somebody that you like, or you see a certain thing about a person, you pick it up, and that you go for that, and then you claim ownership about the person. Let's say the person likes you,
likes you back.
Yeah, and then you guys go on a date, everything was nice and everything, and you become nice friends and everything. You don't want anybody else to, you don't want to see, let's say if I'm a dude, I don't want to see anybody talking to her. I become jealous right away, and all that stuff. Like I get all these negative feelings.
Yeah, because
that
you
is
feel like you own
exactly
them, right?
That is claiming ownership. Like, and this hasn't even yet developed to anything. This is just surface
and has nothing to do with love.
To do with love.
Yes.
Nothing.
Yes, a lot of women, especially women, because just out of my experience, right? They get into those kinds of relationship with a partner thinks that they own them and control their every move, to the point where they hack into their social media accounts and check and track who they are friends with and who they talk to, that kind of thing, like that really controlling type of behavior, which also tends to get abusive if it goes too far. And they say, oh, he wouldn't be so jealous and he wouldn't be doing all of this and all of that if he really didn't love me. It's not love at all, because they are restricting you, they are suffocating you, they are controlling you. And if you love someone, you need to let them become who they need to become and fulfill their fullest potential on their own, right? Like from their own will and that kind of thing, right? Without any type of control, because you control them basically to suit your needs. You're looking out for your needs first before your partners, and that is why they are controlling the person. And I remember I got this quote like a Buddha quote,
Yeah.
where Buddha was asked, "What is love?" And he explained it in this analogy. He said, "Take a flower, okay? If you like the flower, what do? You go, you pick it, you play around with it, and then when it starts to wilt, you throw it away and you forget it ever existed.
Exactly.
Okay, but you picked it and it was yours. You're the owner, right? But if you love the flower, you leave it where it is and you water it and you nurture it and let it grow to become what it's meant to become. And that is exactly what it is. And if you try to, again, control and own the person, then that is really not love. And people should stop fooling themselves into thinking that they are so controlling because they love me. No, they don't. They are only looking out for their own selfish interest and whatever they want to get out of you, or whatever ego they are trying to satisfy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So whenever you see yourself in that situation, know that you're doing something wrong. You're gonna get into that relationship with that wrong mindset, and that ain't gonna go well at all. So that brings us to our last point, which is
love is also not self-validation.
Exactly.
It is not love at all if you are looking for another person to validate who you are. Okay, and to basically reconfirm your self-worth. You do not need another person to do that. And if you do this and you mistake that for love, basically you have the tendency to let people trample all over you. Because you yourself do not love yourself or regard yourself, because you need that outside validation, right? So obviously that will that energy will exude out, and other people or whoever is your spouse will pick up on that.
Exactly.
And the natural thing to do is, okay, well, if they don't regard themselves, then I might as well trample all over them, and they will. And then you are going to end up suffering even more. Right? Because for you to have those kinds of feelings that you have the need for outside validation, something must have already happened to you for you not to be able to get that from yourself, by yourself. And then you have people trampling on that, on top of that, over and over and over again. It's only going to mess you up even more. And you're going to think that love is crap, and love hurts, and love made me do this and made him do that. No, then it's simply not love in our opinions. Right?
Yes, just to quickly add to that, I think most of the time it comes from self-esteem issues that you have, so my only, advice would be, rather work on those things that you think you have. I was shaking it, right? Work on the things that you think you have, or that bothers you. You know yourself. Nobody, you know it. So if it's weight, or if it's confidence, if it's any other thing that you think, it kind of like diminishes,
like brings you down,
brings you down, or think you are worthless. No, don't run away from that. Actually, attack that.
Tackle the problem. Exactly.
Attack
because it's almost like if you have all of those self-esteem issues, and then you just run, go from one relationship to the other because you're looking for that validation. It's kind of like you are just tackling the symptoms, but you're not really tackling the cause of what's causing it.
Exactly.
And so, you yourself, deep down, nobody else can tell you. You know what it is.
You know
why you are feeling this way or that way about yourself. So you need to really tackle those problems from the root, and just not let other people walk all over you.
That's what
because if you do not take care of yourself and validate yourself, people are going to see that, and they're going to feel that energy on the outside, and then they're also going to treat you accordingly. So that doesn't help. It's actually counterproductive. If you're looking for validation, it comes from you first.
Exactly. The buck stops with you. So
that's it for now, right?
Yeah, that brings us to our 5 points that we have for you.
Exactly. I'm sure there's more, but those are the ones that are the most common and that are the biggest problems, I guess.
Exactly. And by no means are we sitting here posing as the gurus of relationship. No. But experience is experience that you can't take away from that. So the little that we have gone through and come out successfully, that is what we're sharing with you guys.
Because they are, like I said, especially the first point, a lot of women they are looking for the butterflies. They're looking for the butterflies. Not really. And most of the time when I speak to women that are in long relationships and happy long relationships, they didn't have butterflies.
No.
But they had what is actually required to have a really good relationship,
Exactly.
which is all those pillars, the intimacy, the trust, and all of these good things that you really want, you know. And then couples that did have butterflies left, right, and center, they end up somehow fighting all the time, and they don't last very long, and it's just an observation that we have made.
It's just that,
like I said, I've had butterflies for guys in the past. It wouldn't have worked out even if something did happen, and then I'm happy with him, and we have a good relationship, and it's working, and and there was no butterflies. So you look at that, and you kind of make a conclusion based on based on your experiences. So that's what we're doing.
Exactly.
All right, so put your comments down below, you guys. Tell us what you think. Ask us any questions that you want. We're really excited and happy to tackle your questions.
And as always, share your stories. Let us know what's going on. Any personal experience that you have actually gone through yourself, let us know.
For sure.
And much more. Until then, you've been detoxed.